will start by rehashing what our position was yesterday and where we are today. We're gonna go through the work in 3 phases. Yesterday afternoon we worked, and then we came back. We had a team came back this morning at 1 that worked till up to about 7, and then there's another team that took over from 7, and they're working, and they're still working. So we'll just recap where we were. Yesterday when we spoke, we had just done some temporary works on the connecting post at span 13, and we were preparing works at span 16. We were waiting on the tide to change to start doing some anchor works. That work commenced just about 2, and we were able to reconnect 8 connecting posts, 5 sheaves, 15 shackles, and 215 feet of anchor chains. Those are used anchor chains that was got disconnected, and we did some wire ropes. I spoke about the work that we did on the connecting posts. When we got this morning to start working, we realized that we had some difficulties. We mentioned that there were 9 anchors to reconnect yesterday. Between yesterday and this morning, that number changed. That number went up to somewhere about 16. How that? What we realized is that a lot of the boys, some of them got punctured, and at that point they start taking on water and it not start showing till later down in the morning. And some locations where we thought that the anchorage was okay, it wasn't. What we've seen, and we've never seen this, is that the vessel was able to drag a lot of those anchors, and those anchors are 15-ton anchors. So what it says is it's most likely get hooked in the chain and it just drag it on the bed. That poses a difficulty for us, because what you will see if you recognize, that picture here doesn't say a lot, but normally you will see all the boys there in line. At that location, you'll see the boys there doing this. And what that means is that we had to connect it to the anchor where we find the anchor. So it means that we have to come back at a much later date and start readjusting and repositioning. We have repositioned to date. We have 8 and 4. This is 8 and 5. 8 and 6 is 14. We have reconnected 14 as of this morning. We have at least another 4 we're looking at during the week, and hopefully that will put us in a much better position. So I want to say to this team here that we have, I think I always see on Facebook everybody says, "Oh, I got the best team," but I can tell you without a doubt, Harbor Bridge, we've got the best team. I want to say thanks to all my engineers, all my staff who would have and continue to and always show up once we're in these situations. And I can tell you, they put in more than 110%. We were here, Tarek was here since 12 last night. Work started at 1, but people had to come in a little much earlier to get things going. And they're still here. Unfortunately, I had 2 hours sleep, they didn't have any. But those are, I'm not going to get into all the details, but to date, that is what has happened. We're still not able to do any marine retraction because we're still going to be working on some alignments. The guys are still out there working as we speak. They're at span 22, 21, 22, and 21, 22 left, and they're going to be changing two connecting posts. So that work, as we speak, work is still ongoing. So as of to date, we have 8 and 6 is 14 anchors that we connected instead of 9 that we spoke about, and the connecting posts we've had, this is 7. We've connected 9. I was told 9 total connecting posts. So that is where we are. So I will open myself to questioning. I purposely didn't address the question of reopening. I know you're gonna ask that, so.
Give me a ballpark or give me a timeline.
Based on everything, we are looking for no later than 6 o'clock this afternoon.
Light
Dead
traffic.
date, drop, dead opening. Light, we want to give access to cars, minibuses, motorcycle. We're gonna be looking at and some canters, light trucks. So we're looking at that for about 6 o'clock this afternoon. Latest.
Marine traffic.
Marine traffic, we had some discussion, and I'm hoping to make an announcement on that. What we're looking at is to realign, because we got to go and do some realignment. We haven't been able to connect 13, 14 how we wanted. And what these numbers mean, 13, 14, and you're hearing all these numbers. The retractor acceptor span stops at 11. 13, those are the spans just after that. So you need those spans to be aligned. They can be out aligned and the acceptor span out aligned. So we are looking at that alignment, and hopefully we're gonna start doing some adjusting sometime tomorrow morning. And we will see how that is aligned, and we'll make our call on the opening. But that is what we're focusing on right now. Outside of what the guys are doing, we have to understand that it's one team we got. When we say one team, we don't have, what we have to do is split the teams up, because the guys who are working, they need rest. So you have to get some, while some sleeping, some working, then those who work this morning, they gone home to get some rest, to come out back, because those who came in at 7, they had I hope that they had some decent rest. So we have to be adjusting the teams to make sure we keep work going. And we understand from yesterday that a lot of work can be done once the tide is not in your favor. So if the tide is in your favor, it makes no sense. You stay here, you go home and sleep. We know when the tide is going to be, and that's why we were able to say, team, come out at 1. We're going to be doing Anchorage work. And trust me, all those work that was done this morning between 1 and 5, that was in the river. So you could imagine at 1 o'clock in the morning, we had men diving in the river, looking for anchors, doing all the reconnection. So, and that's not easy work.
Good question. How many marine vessels do we have?
Backed up, what we got?
For the second story, we had 3 vessels, because for 5 o'clock in the morning, we only have 3 vessels.
Yeah.
So we had a full complement of 3 vessels, and for
This
When
morning.
Thursday, this morning was 3 hours.
So you had 3 yesterday and
but
3 today.
But we noticed some would schedule to go in and then come out. If they didn't get to go in, we know that more than likely they won't come. So for our next retraction, I checked it. It seemed like if we have to have 5. And we come back.
So we can accommodate
Yeah.
5. That doesn't mean there's not more than 5, but we have to accommodate it within the hour and a half window so that we can keep traffic going. So we, as I said, as Ms. Richardson said, we normally will do 3 at 5 o'clock. So you can multiply that by the days we're out. That's about 6. We're hoping to accommodate 5 this time, but that normally would require the cooperation of the pilots and the captains. In these situations, they do cooperate because everybody wants to do. So we expect to do at least about 5 on the next retraction.
When is that likely?
Today is Tuesday. We're gonna do some. We're probably looking somewhere either Wednesday, Thursday, because as I said, we now have to know. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Most likely Thursday. The team that is gone in from last night, they're gonna come out and they will now work because the other team is working. So you have to bring in a team to work on those anchors to adjust them.
Just a quick last question. Do you have any limited thinking? Not any indications of. Do you have any idea, anything that I haven't?
No, we got a call from Saul requesting a transit, and we 2. Oh, to talk across the bridge. Okay. Saul wanted fuel tankers to go over the bridge. Okay. No, we didn't had any requests. But
Members who are in custody, have they, or have you been, what they told the police? What transpired?
unfortunately, I have been focused on getting the bridge fixed. I left that to the competent hands of Marad and the ministry and the other staff. We try not to focus on the crew and the Marad is who is handling that. We will have to do our own internal investigation once we would have wrapped up our work here. But our work is solely, and we've dedicated all our time to make sure we get the bridge back up and running. So I don't have any answers to crew, vessel, and I haven't, as you see, I haven't addressed any of those in my comments.
While light traffic is able to cross the bridge by 6 p.m., and will the normal operational capacity for trucks and so on.
As I said, we are working still. We got some other connecting posts to install. We have to do some adjustments, and after lunch, when we would have reconvened with the team, we got to understand that this is work in progress. Yesterday when you come, I didn't have the information. Today when you come, I got some more information. So most likely we're gonna have some more briefings. So when I get new information, we'll be able to share that. But we don't want to be going out there making commitments that we can't honor. And so it's all work in progress. And the reason we're doing this is to make sure we keep the media and the people updated as to how we're going and how we're progressing. Because people want to know, people's lives are being affected. And we want to make sure we do everything possible to alleviate that situation.
Right. Neighbor, like to you. Can you say how much the repairs will cost?
I'll answer the last one. That's what I know. And sure, it would not be us. We are bearing the cost now because we have to deploy all the resources. But when that is finalized, that cost will be sent. And I keep mentioning, yesterday I talked about, I remember Mr. Gildari asking about costs. And I said to him, I don't want to give because yesterday we started at 9. I'm at 16. Things keep changing. The anchor, the buoys keep damaging. We start discovering that buoys are being damaged. They're taking on water. So we don't want to be putting numbers out there prematurely and somebody keep locking into these numbers and says, these are the numbers. We are still working. And as I said, our focus solely now is to get the bridge repaired and up. You can see we're documenting everything. Everything I change, everything I do. This is from an equipment standpoint and materials and equipment. But we're still looking and we're still discovering. So we can't put a number. At the end of the day, when we finish, we will take all the sheets, compile them together, and says, this is all the equipment, this is all the material, this is the manpower, this is the costs now. But to go out there and start putting out numbers when your focus is here, getting the work done, document everything, and then we will assess what is the cost. But for now, it will be premature for me to be calling any number. But what I know for sure is that the owners for the vessel, that cost will be transferred to them.
And regards to the
I have seen a vessel pull those anchors in at span 12, 13. It is right up under the pontoon. That we have never seen.
my question to you is what is being can be done to prevent such from happening again? So
The issue is not the anchors dragging, is that you had a massive barge that had that capacity to drag the anchors. It's not that the anchors fail and the anchors drag. Is that the barge who had whatever problem I don't know. So you have to understand what the problem is before you can start formulating solutions. And as I said, we are solely right now focusing on repairing. When all the dust is settled, we will meet with Marad and all the other persons, and we will find out. When we do find out what the problem was, then we can start formulating. But for me to sit here now and say, we will do this, we will do that, the truth is that we are focused on getting this bridge fixed right now. And that's what we can be doing. I'm hoping that in the near future, Marad and the ministry and myself, we can probably we meet and then we can call a press conference and say this is was the finding, this is what we plan, and then we can properly put an advanced solutions that was based on facts. We don't know. I don't know all the facts yet.
Question. Who's supposed to be monitoring the bridge? None of these things. Or monitoring as in the sense that if something comes close to the bridge, probably.
Even if monitoring is not, and I don't want to confine monitoring to be looking out through a glass. That doesn't do anything. You have to have the resources. If you're monitoring and you don't have on that side tugs and of whatever sizes that is required under those current conditions in terms of the velocity of the water pulling a, I don't know, there's a 5,000-ton barge or that kind of barge, then you can watch as much you want. If you don't have the resources as a harbor, which we don't have those resources, and we're not required to have those resources, those massive tugs to prevent those things from happening. This has to be a collaborative effort, as I said, between Harbor Bridge, Marriott, government, private sector, who has resources. So monitoring for me is far more than have somebody looking out. Because you're gonna look out and you can shout that there's something happening. But if you can't respond, then you're just wasting somebody's hour sitting down there. So it takes a bigger effort to do those kind of stuff. As I said, it calls for a lot of resources out there and making sure that I don't know what would be the findings, but it might be that somebody just wasn't paying attention, and you might not need to have equipment. Just needed that somebody need to be on the tug or whatever happened. Somebody didn't tie the anchor properly. Somebody didn't. So those are solutions to monitor and to see. I don't know what they, and I don't want to be quoted saying that this is what happened, because as I said, I haven't been focusing on that, and I left that up to the authorities at Ministry of Marine. They're going to be doing those investigations, and they're going to be saying to us, this is what happened.
Just to clarify, so 6 p.m. is time?
Drop dead date.
Vendors here are the guy in front. Or did the company get the calculator?
We're not doing those numbers. We're not even, my mind hasn't even gone there. Because I can tell you what, there's a bigger economic loss to the country than financial loss to the bridge. And is more that is the most important cost. You imagine I'm a small farmer. I just pick all my little pepper and cabbage and tomato. I'm trying to get to the market, and it's spoiled. You can recover as a company. That is his livelihood. He been planting that thing, waiting for it to so that he can get money to take care of his family. Those are, and you multiply that by, so those are the bigger costs we need to be looking at. That's why we are so focused on getting the bridge up and running so that we can alleviate the people problem. That's a bigger cost for us to and now that is not significant. We've lost over 2 days of revenue. In the grand scheme of things, it will be a little selfish for you to start thinking, and you got people with school children. I got in the nights people with dragging their suitcases over this bridge to get to the airport, people coming back over from their vacations. We see what's happening at Villeneuve. You think those people who going through there really and truly would worry about how much money you lose at the bridge? And then we start talking, oh, we're losing this money. It seems kind of selfish to start going down that road and thinking about that right now. We're gonna do that. All that gonna happen later, and we're gonna find out what the real cost of this and the damages of this is. But our focus, as I said, now is to get this bridge up and running so that we can address and alleviate the issues that the public is facing right now. So we're not even gonna be going there for now. Probably next week, if you ask me that question, I might be in a better position to answer that.
Have you, could you give us an understanding as to what kind of person, how many engineers died?
Engineers, one, two, three, four, five, not five, seven, seven engineers, but we are working different shift. Um, Team, total staff strength was about what? 54. But remember, everybody's not out there in one time. We have to split them up. So it was 7 engineers, 54 staff. You had tug, boat, all of our full fleet of equipment. So divers, there's one diver. And as I said, I pray for him every day because they ain't got much people going into those kind of work in this country. And we're glad that he had, since I'm here, we used to work with his father. His father is now aged, and we're glad that he took up the mantle and carrying it on. And as we ain't got anymore. And he has been faithful, he's been working with us in this situation. Once we call on him, he's there. So and that's a contracted services. We don't have that on staff.
Were you updated as to what happened, what transpired between fabrics?
I have all I'm seeing is like you on the news, and um, but we're following it up. We know what's going on. I'm following it in the news. Hopefully, that situation is gonna correct itself after today.
There is a part saying that they have some, you know, how probably later with us. Anything on that?
I've just come off the phone with the mayor, and he's asking us to accommodate. And I told him, like I'm saying to you now, by 6 o'clock, we will have some vehicles transiting the bridge. Hopefully, once those trucks are empty, I'm sure we can facilitate them over. Let me say once again, thanks for coming. I don't plan a next briefing. I'm hoping at the next briefing, which is most likely be myself and the ministry and Marad, where we can, because we would have then gone through all of our technical stuff in terms of fixing the bridge. And I'm hoping you would want to ask all the other questions that I couldn't have answered at that um, forum. So this would be the end of our Harbor Bridge press conferences. I'm hoping, as I said, that the ministry will have some updates here. And let me say thanks for coming. And once again, I want to say thanks to my team who have done an excellent job in working to get this bridge back up. And they have continued. I've had guys who should have gone and leave yesterday. And when I came into work, they were here. The leave was approved to start working. And that says to you how committed these guys are to keeping this bridge open. As I said, when I came in, I'm like, what are we doing here? He said, Chief, I heard, and I had to turn out. And those are some of my main senior staff. That shows, as I said, the level of commitment that the staff here have towards the work that they do, and how serious we take this job of getting this bridge up and running.